Hello. I am Hannah and I'm coming to you from a blackout that's taking much longer than most blackouts do. We are on, well, we're still in the first full 24 hours, but technically it's the second day. So I figured I might as well record a video for you where there's actually some sun. So I'm going to be showing you some of my stash. Sorry about that. Turn down the volume. Alright, so I'm going to be showing you some of my stash today. Going along with the questions from the tag, Show Us Your Stash 2020, which was put together by Sean of Kittenish Behavior and Danny from Pocket or Two. So there's a variety of questions that have been posed, and I have some fabrics here that I'm going to show you as I go through it. So the first question is actually favorite fabric, but we're going to get to that a bit later. It's kind of difficult for me to choose, so I'm going to go through a bit of the stories behind the rest of my fabrics, and then I'll try and decide on my favorite out of all of the ones that I have with me today, because there's some really good ones. But the next question after favorite fabric is your oldest fabric. I just have a bit of it here. This has technically been in the family stash probably since the 70s. Much longer than I've been alive. But it's I believe it's a bark cloth, and it has these gorgeous autumn flowers all over it, in like browns and a bit of blue and green with a bit of a creamy base. But yeah, I actually made myself a pillow out of this years ago. But it's one of those fabrics that I see it and I instantly become happier because it's been around for so long in my house. So that's definitely the oldest fabric that I have here. At least that has been in the stash the longest. Alright, so the next question is a fabric that I'm scared to cut into. Honestly, I'm so scared to cut into so many of these. I'm trying to remember which one I chose for which. I think I'm gonna go with this fabric. Now this is actually a Liberty fabric that I bought in October 2019 at the Liberty store. It came as a pre-cut 3-meter piece. It has a gorgeous teal background, and it has some green and some pinks and oranges and whites in the flowers. It's a beautiful fabric, and it's also one of those things that just makes me go, oh, whenever I see it. But I'm kind of nervous to cut into it because it's so hard to find on their site. Otherwise I would definitely buy more, so that I could have like a full dress that would be even fuller and than it would be right now with just the 3 meters. Alright, next fabric is I don't have a clue to what to make with it. Alright, I have to move some stuff here. Alright, I need some help with this one, in all honesty. So I figured I would actually bring my book that I'm using to search for my patterns with me. So this is it has linen, it has tencel, I think it has rayon and cotton as well. It's a large check gingham that's in pink and white from Joanne Fabrics, which is actually where I work. Today's a working day, so I'm actually wearing black, which otherwise I would not wear regularly, at least this close to my face. So I think I have 3.5 perhaps yards of this. And I have a couple options on what to make with it. So I'm looking at the Gertie Sews Jiffy dresses for this. One of the options that I'm looking into is actually the dress that's right on the front of the book, which is the Popover Dress. There's a gorgeous version in here that is bias cut with waistline shearing, and she made it in a nearly identical fabric, so it's kind of biased that way. Biased in the other sense of bias, not bias as in 45-degree cut. That also makes me a bit nervous because I've never done shearing before, but I just did a twin needle for the first time and I'm really proud of what I've done. So I'll show you that later in the month when I show you all of my spring makes. And then the other like high up there option, there's actually a couple more, is the swirl dress. Now, the swirl dress is a wrap dress. It wraps around your back and then it has like a full skirt to it. I actually own a swirl dress from I think it's the 70s, which is really cool. So I'm kind of debating whether I want to make a swirl dress myself. Sorry about that noise. But she also has depicted here a plaid swirl dress with a double pocket. So it's kind of like, what do I actually want to make? I'm going back and forth, and there was another dress as well that as a possibility in here, I believe, which is the Patio Dress. I love the bodice of this. So it's got an open neckline. In this version it has about bracelet length sleeves, and then this one also has a tiered skirt, which I may or may not do. There's also a very similar dress in her Gertie Sews Casual Vintage, I believe it's called. I have it right over there, give me a moment. So I reversed my words actually. It is Gertie Sews Vintage Casual. And there's this great 40 style blouse in here, which I might end up making, I don't know yet, or something based upon it. I'm still trying to decide. This book was a gift from Georgiana Archer in Australia for Christmas through the KB Pattern Swap. And I'm still going, oh, what do I make with it? Honestly, I should have looked in here when I was making my t-shirt, but maybe I'll make one from here for my next one. So I'm debating between books. Let's see. Where's the other? Here it is. This is the other option that I love. Love, love, love. Okay. This is the zip front dress. So it's got a lovely collar, kind of wide, similar to the Patio Dress. A zipper down the front, which would make construction fairly easy, especially as I absolutely hate buttons. And then like a full skirt. So that's the other option for my gorgeous lyocell stenciled fabric blend. So I'm still working on this. If you could please let me know in the comments below what you think I should make. I'd very much appreciate it. Alright, next up is with a story. Honestly, most of my fabrics have stories, and I don't know, it makes me happy to share their stories a bit, and in terms of how I got them, it's probably why this video's a little bit rambly. But I decided that I would show you a beautiful green linen plaid. Now, I actually do know where this originally came from before I ended up with it. This is a secondhand fabric, but originally it came from Fabric Mart Fabrics in Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania. It's a great store. I would highly recommend checking it out. It's where I love to get silks and wools for a much cheaper price than I would at Joann's, even though I work there. But I got this fabric last year while I was working as an intern at a theater in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for school. So they were working on clearing out their costume fabric stash a bit, and I took so much fabric, so much fabric. But this is absolutely one of my favorites that I got from there. The green is beautiful. It's a very soft, dark green, similar to my eye color, and a color that I actually do wear quite a bit, with like a red tone and a blue tone as well. So it's a beautiful fabric. Yeah, so it took a while to make its way towards me, but I love it so much. I believe it is a linen. It's a very lightweight linen, so that's fun. Like, there's a couple of layers behind here, so that's why you're not seeing its full. It's quite hard to fold, honestly, because it is so lightweight. But yeah, this is my fabric with story, and I truly do love it. Alright, next up is precious fabrics and why. Oh, I have so many precious fabrics. But I think one of my most precious fabrics is this rayon. Now, this rayon was also from working at Open Stage of Harrisburg, which is the theater I worked at as an intern. It's a rayon with in a beautiful gray color. It's cool to the touch, and it has what I would describe as colorful dandelion seed pods. But it's beautiful, and I think it's vintage, honestly. In which case, I really cannot get any more of it, unless I strangely come across it. I don't even know where. But yeah, so this is one of my most precious fabrics. I like to just stroke it sometimes. I will leave it out and just stroke it because it's so beautiful and so cool to the touch and silky and smooth. Yeah. Like, I have like the little offcuts that were with it too. I tried to collect them all. But yeah, that's one of my most precious fabrics. In terms of dream fabric, okay, so this is going to be a bit strange here, but to actually show you a fabric. So this is a silk, a double-faced satin silk. I only have the tiniest bit. That's like 25 inches wide in total, and probably 45 inches selvage to selvage. Now, I got this at Fabric Mart in person last year, 2 years ago. and they had like a little box of remnants of silk, and it's just so beautiful. But I would love to have some more double-faced satin silk. It's gorgeous. Like if I could have it in a color like olive or teal, that'd be wonderful. But for now, I just have this tiny piece of an ivory, I'd say. An ivory and off-white. But yeah, I'd say that that would be one of my dream fabrics. It's so dreamy, honestly. Yeah, so that's that. I also just love looking at pure wool crepe. And there's some gorgeous ones out there that I'm debating. So, finally, well, second to last thing is my favorite fabric. Most of the ones I've shown you so far are favorites of mine. I'll show you a couple more in terms of general favorites for various reasons. This is a gorgeous Quilting Cotton, which I got at Gaffney Fabrics in Germantown, which is part of Philadelphia. Just so beautiful. Just so beautiful. Then we've got another little remnant from the same basket as the double-faced silk. This is a beautiful pink crepe. It's kind of like, it's got a coral texture to it, in that the crepe seems to like branch out from itself, which is really beautiful. And I just love this color as well. And then my other favorite is wool. This is one of my favorite ones I've ever gotten. It is a Super 120 with, and it's in black. Sorry, I'm shedding. It's in black with a fine it has two variations in pinstripe, which are in a golden medallion color. This one was also from Fabric Mart, and I haven't made it yet. It's kind of shocking. It's another one of those things that I'm kind of scared to cut into, even though I do love wool, and I just made a wool pair of trousers for someone other than myself, which you will be seeing coming up. Now, there's one last question, and that is, where do you keep your stash? I keep my stash all over the place, in all honesty. Some of it is in the sewing studio, some of it's in the hallway directly outside the studio, and some of it is in the attic in bins. I'll take a few short clips for you to show you, hopefully when there's actually power on. Otherwise you'll be seeing it by lantern light, and that's not the best way to show these things off. Yeah. So, yeah, so I'll show you a bit of my stash right now, actually. Okay, so we're in the studio. It's a little bit of a mess. It's mostly my mess. I do share this studio with my sister. And yeah, I'm just a much messier person. So I'm going towards the corner with my sewing machine, which is a Kenmore Zigzag. She's beautiful. I call her Dot. She's a lovely workhorse. Yeah. So over there we've got a little bit of fabric and a mostly finished project. And then over here we have a random pile of stuff. Like there's also fabric on my desk, This is another fabric which I'm a little scared to cut into and unsure of what to make with it. It was a gift from my sister and she designed it for me. It just makes me very happy to see, honestly. Alright. So I actually do try and organize my fabric by when I'm most likely to use it. So most of these things have planned projects. This is something that's already been made, but I want to add more width to with this fabric. This fabric for a pair of pants, which I got in Harrisburg. And then this fabric here is a stretch, probably cotton poly denim, which has multiple colors to it. So it's got a pink and a blue running in opposite directions. And I want to make the Gertie cigarette trousers out of that. In the corner, in that lovely purple bag, is some tricot, along with my serger, which I need to get serviced. And that fabric is kind of set aside for more entertaining projects. But yeah. And then over here we have some things that need to be repaired underneath those bolt cardboard and a bolt of a fabric. Yeah, so along with another thing that needs to be repaired on top. Can you tell I need to clean up? Also, in the corner by the window, we have a couple more fabrics. So this one is a fabric I got at Joann's. It's a home decor velvet, but I bought it so I can match a hat. We also have a home decor silk, another velvet, and a lining fabric. The lining fabric is the only one which I didn't buy. I was given by the lovely people at Osh. So yeah, those are the fabrics that are inside the studio. So I'm a little bright here, but I want to say thank you for watching this video, and I will try and have everything else tagged onto the back of this so that you can see everything else in my stash. Bye! Okay, I'm going to be a little quieter here. It is the next day. We have light, which is very exciting. It came on much sooner than Pico expected. And yes, I have dark circles under my eyes. I always have dark circles. But I'm going to show you part 2 of my stash location. So, right now we're in the hallway, right outside the studio. There's some books behind me. And I'm standing in front of a bookcase which holds very specific fabrics. Alrighty. Alright. Okay. So on the top shelf we have some more specific fabrics, some of which have already got plans. It's mostly divided by who it's going to, but some things just didn't fit. So most of that's my stuff. But it's primarily my mom, my sister, my dad. And then there's a project here for me, and some knit for me on the very top there, which is like a snake's. It's one of my oldest fabrics. It's like a snakeskin print, and then this plan on making an outfit with. This is a 7-berry cotton lawn, which I got last year. And then there's a Supima cotton sateen from Joanne underneath. And there's a rayon for my mom, a couple of fabrics my sister is inspired by, and a few for my dad, and some random bits and bobs on the end. This second layer has more fabrics for me. So some of these you've seen. Quite a bit of corduroy in here on the right. And then this is some jersey from an old sheet. Then we've got a lovely, I'm gonna say it's a viscose crepe from Fabric Mart Fabrics, and shirting. And on the very bottom, we have works in progress, or repairs in progress, that I've been working on for a while, but need a bit more work. So yeah. Alright, now we are in the attic where most of my fabric lives. There's some of it you won't be seeing just now because it's so buried that I can't even see it, because other people have been putting stuff in front of my stuff. It's mostly divided by type of fabric. So here we have mostly cottons. So like there's like cotton flannel in here, there's quilting cotton, there's IKEA cotton, all kinds of cotton. Down below that is mostly jersey fabrics. So like there's some sweatshirting, some more slinky jerseys. That's a French terry. It's like a sweater knit. There's some rib knits in there. This is a bag of fabrics I've been debating making stuff out of lately. This is a big piece of wool that did not fit in my wool drawer. I plan on making a Vogue. I'll put what pattern number it is down below. Mock up with. I just haven't gotten my horsehair yet, or my hair canvas. I haven't bought my hair canvas yet, but it's a beautiful olive green color and a wool poly blend. It's a coating, but yeah. Alright, and then in the top 3 of these drawers we have a lot of randomness, well, especially in the bottom third. So here we have some already cut wool coating, as well as this lovely, it's not coming up quite right on camera, that's a bit more accurate, this lovely, I believe it's a mohair blend wool, yeah, that I got free. Is there anything else in here? No, I think it's just those two. But I'm debating putting them together because I didn't have quite enough of this for the coat I wanted to make from it. Then we've got some more wool type fabrics. This is a wool viscose crepe from Fabric Mart. I like that they actually include stickers so that you know what fabric it is. And this is one that comes back from time to time, and I'm a bit nervous to cut into it. Then we've got a couple more wools. This is more of a taupe color. This one's more of an olive or a drab. And then there's a herringbone and like a blue plaid. I'm not actually sure exactly of the content of this one, but it's a wool type fabric. Then down here is all my partially quilted and scrap fabric. It's also known as the random drawer. So like look here. So like this is all sewn together in strips. There was a time when I was attempting to use up all my weird fabrics. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's the primary portion. My embroidery floss is over here, along with some more random fabrics. I can't remember what's in a bin under here because someone has blocked it from my view, but there's also a bin of most of my yarn down there. But yeah, this is where I keep the majority of my fabric when it's not scattered downstairs. So yeah. And that is the last of my stash.